This is Paul Joseph with Sure Hair International. I wanted to present a case today of a mind-blowing result. This gentleman had exceptional laxity, fantastic characteristics, fantastic donor hair. You can see from the profile here, this gentleman is a Norwood 6 verging onto a Norwood 7. Here you can see in the back, he was onto the vertical slope. This is an overhead view of our patient. He had a little bit of a mid-frontal tuft, but virtually bald here from the front all the way down. This is his 1 year, 4,200 grafts, over 10,500 hairs, his 1 year final result. There's so many things to talk about. Firstly, this is what a transplant can do, and for anybody who questions it, what a transplant should do. This gentleman was truly, completely bald on the top, minus a little bit of hair. Let us pull in here and take a look. Let's talk about what a fantastic transplant should be and do. Not only did we get great coverage, if you look at the hairline, and if you could just turn towards that wall, this is all hair transplant, 100% natural. If you want to just slowly rotate towards the camera again, very slowly, slower. This is all perfect. Just stay there. This is all transplant, and then look slowly. Just keep going, very slowly. Yeah. And just slowly turn. Keep going. Just very slowly. This is all hair transplant. All of this, and you note the irregularity, the angulation, all the care that was all done one day. Sir, do you remember how long you were here for? Was it about a 12-hour day, 14-hour day?
It was a 12-hour day, but I tell you, it seemed like maybe I was here an hour.
Really?
Everything went so well. Eyes were just incredible.
Thanks. Tilt your head down real quick. Let's just zoom back out. This is the before, and sir, if you could just tilt your head down right now. Yeah, and this is the after. Yeah, right there, perfect. So you can see side by side the before and the after, or even right there, before and after in one surgery. I'd like to just take a quick comb through now, and we can comb through the entire hair. So what I like to say is that, you know, we're not concealing anything. There's no product in your hair today. There's nothing in your hair. You just blow dried it. We've not concealed. This is not tricks. This is not anything. This is real work, real transplant. So you want to tilt your head back down. I just want to comb through the frontal area. Yeah. Come straight through. If you want to tilt your head back up and then turn towards the window so you can see that this is all transplant. That is all hair transplant on a Norwood 6 verging on a Norwood 7. I'll take a quick second to show that while you were doing this, that this gentleman's hairline was actually, this was on the vertical slope, so not only did we transplant hairs on the horizontal, we actually had to reconstruct all of his temple region and go onto the horizontal slope. If it's possible, I'm going to get you to turn around. This is the before, and that is the after of the overhead shot. I do apologize for the wires in the back. We're setting up a new machine here. If we can, so this is all hair transplant, 100% hair transplant, 4,200 grafts. The hairline is probably about 35 to 40 follicular units per centimeter squared, and we covered all the way back to about right here. So basically, yep, to the vertical slope. So you can see through this area right here, there was nothing done. However, from the frontal 3/4, we covered well over three-quarters of this gentleman's head in one transplant. So if you ask yourself, why do I spend a little bit more money and go to a place that can pull a large amount of grafts? For the simple reason that we were able to, not only with 4,200 grafts, if you compare it to any other videos, I would attest to say that this looks probably like 5,000 to 6,000 grafts at most places, over 2 to 3 surgeries. This was done in one surgery, 1 year, that's it. Now for the glory. Firstly, the first question I have is this, I'm going to show this to everybody, is this you?
Yes, it is.
This is awesome. When you look at this.
Yeah, I had no idea I was this bald.
Because it's been a year, right?
Yeah, it's been a year, and this result is phenomenal. Like, it's beyond my expectation. I had no idea what to expect.
What do people at home say about it, or your wife or your family?
I'm often out working in the yard, and my neighbor will walk by, and he just says, "Oh my God, I can't believe your head of hair," and he's just astounded. And my wife can't believe it.
What does your wife say about it?
She thinks it's phenomenal, and she still thinks I'm a good-looking guy. I don't have to wear a cap all the time.
Did you hide before a lot?
Yeah, a fair bit. Yeah, and not only for the sun, but just to make it look like I was younger with a cap on.
Right, to conceal.
Yeah.
What is it? There's a bunch of guys out there, and we always say in consultations that people come in here and they do a transplant, but they don't really believe it, and you're never sure. Even it takes a full year really to be sure. Knowing what you know now, would you have come in earlier? Would you have hesitated?
No, this is the best time and money I've ever spent.
Really?
On a I don't know if you want to call it health related, but on a looking after myself sort of basis.
Yeah.
I would do this again in a second.
In a heartbeat.
Like I said, in a big part, I was here for 12 hours in the chair, and it seemed like an hour to me. And with maybe a week of slight discomfort.
Let's talk about that real quick while we're on it. So tell me what your a big concern is always pain.
Sure, absolutely. I'm a big chicken.
You're a big you're a big tough chicken.
So, yeah.
Talk about your expectation of what you thought it was going to be pain wise versus how it actually, and be honest. So if it was a 10 out of 10.
Yeah. No. Given what was described to me, how they were going to remove hair from the donor hair, I thought this is going to be quite excruciating.
Yes,
and
sure.
I tell you, here 12 hours, and the day went by like I couldn't believe. So there was no pain.
Really, no pain.
Surgery. No.
What about the local anesthetic? The needles at the beginning? Was there pain there?
Just like a sharp little jab.
That's it.
It's really non-invasive at all.
I always ask whether it was better or worse than the dentist. Comparable.
Oh, the dentist is far worse.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I had a root canal, a year ago. That was
painful.
Yeah. A little more discomfort, after.
Sure. Tell us about the after. That's okay. Go ahead.
Recovery. So the first night was fine. I mean, a cocktail of things to take.
Yeah.
For 3 days. The first night was fine. I stayed here in Toronto. I'd probably say the most pain was maybe 3 to 5 days after, and then it starts subsiding from there.
Yeah.
And I could do regular washing on my hair within a couple of days.
And were you, how long before you went back to work?
Well, I took 5 days off work. Okay. So Monday to Friday, I had the surgery on the Monday, I was back the following Monday.
And you were fine. Did anybody know? It's okay, if people knew?
Nobody said anything.
Okay.
I told them.
Right. You're a full year out? You're exactly a year?
So May 7th, we're at April 18th today.
So it's almost a full year?
Almost a full year, yeah.
When you look at that, and you see yourself, and you look at this...
Look at the pictures? Yeah. Wow.
Can you put it in words? I mean, can you actually... it's hard to...
It's like I had a second chance.
Really?
At something, right? Head of hair in this case.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, because you think the finality of losing your hair, and
did you?
Can I get this? If I knew back then, there wouldn't have been any hesitation at all. Because I think we went back and forth a little bit.
We did,
and
you were afraid, like almost everybody else is.
Yeah.
Or any? What have people said, or what's the reaction?
My boss keeps calling me handsome now.
Really?
Yeah. So he kids around a lot, but I think he's pretty serious when he says, "Wow, it's a big difference."
It's a huge difference, and so people know, and they're pretty shocked about it.
Even the girls,
You're like, this is a nice side effect, right? Yeah, it does. Right. It enhances your. We'd be lying to say that you did this because you wanted to look better. You wanted to feel better. This is a cosmetic surgery.
Who doesn't want to look better?
Why not, right?
Yeah.
Has anybody walking down the street or anywhere said, "Oh, that's a hair transplant"?
No.
Can you tell when you look up?
I can't tell. I said, "This is my This is when I was 20, when my hair was wavy and kinky, because it can get a little wavy.
Yes.
And now that's there again, and that's like I was when I was 20 years old.
When was the last time you had this much hair, truly? So you're 54.
25?
So you have not had this much hair in 30 years.
Pretty much. So it's like I said, it's a chance to start over, isn't it? Almost.
That's incredible.
Kind of seems like that.
It's kind of. Does it change you? And I'm actually just asking out of curiosity because my transplant I had after 5 years, so I went 5 years being bald.
Yeah, I don't think it's changed me how I act and behave. I think how I feel about myself. There's an impact there, I think, for the positive, obviously.
Yep.
You just something else that you don't worry about or don't think about, or peace of mind.
Yeah.
And that's worth a lot.
And it's maybe something as simple as not wearing a baseball cap or feeling younger, feeling better.
Yeah.
That little bounce.
I used to go back into my house to get the baseball cap if I left it behind,
really?
Right. I don't have to do that. And simple things like that, right?
What would you say to people who are watching this video who wish they could speak to you directly, and what would you tell them?
I would say, if you boil it down to the simplest, if you could get it into one word, is simply, with Sure Hair, trust.
Really?
Yeah, just trust what they say because they know what they're doing. They would rather you not have a transplant if it wasn't right for you than try to sell you a transplant. It's trust, right? They're looking out for your best interests. It's big. Something as big as this has to be based on trust.
I called you the genetic freak. I think I called you that. I said you have the best characteristics.
Right. One thing I'd like to say was, it's Thursday, April 18th. It's nearly a year on, and when I was sitting in the lobby waiting for Paul to come in, waiting for you to come in, and you just looked at me, and first you didn't seem to know who I was, and then you said, "Oh my God," and then you literally keeled over, like passed out. In such shock at the good result, and I actually thought you weren't telling the truth, but you were actually sweating, and you were excited. You were genuinely excited. So yeah, it's just that to me kind of wow. Because I've had a year to live with it, right? Yeah. You haven't. You've not seen me in the year.
I saw you before surgery. I saw you with red dots on your head, and you came in a year in. I honestly, when you came in, I thought you were a consultation, and I thought, this guy has a full head of hair. I can't help him. I'm going to send this guy home. Because I didn't even recognize you from that drastic of a change. Right. Even better than I could have. Any parting words, anything to say to those people, any last words of...
If you've got any, issues with, your hair and losing your hair, I wouldn't recommend anybody else but Sure Hair, because the way I've been treated, the results I've gotten, don't hesitate to at least talk to Sure Hair. You do yourself a favor and talk to these folks. Sure Hair International, be sure of